Hello. So I have a bit of a plan for myself this week. I have been in the weirdest, I'm not sure if I want to call it a reading slump, but it's just like a slump of everything. I feel so scatterbrained. I feel like I can't focus on anything. It's not even that I'm like not enjoying the books that I'm reading, because I am. I'm in the middle of quite a few books at the moment, but I just can't seem to sort of like sit down and just read and not think about other things that I need to do. So this week I thought I would do a little bit of a reading vlog. I'm not going to be reading the books that I'm in the middle of though. I don't know why, but I thought you know, a better theme is to read some poetry collections, because I have quite a few poetry collections that I have either not read and have been on my TBR for a while. There's two that I've just bought secondhand, and then there's the other two which are ones that I sort of tried to read in the past. I didn't enjoy them. I thought I got rid of them. Turns out they were still on my shelves back there. But I pulled them out wanting to get rid of them, but I don't remember why I didn't like them. So I'm gonna like flick through it again, I guess. So let me show you my TBR for this week. I think because they're poetry collections, I'm probably going to be able to read them, you know, a collection a day. Hopefully. I have 5 here. The first one that I'm gonna try and read is one that I just bought. I found it secondhand on a secondhand website, and I know I'm never gonna be able to find this anywhere else, so I bought it. And to be completely honest with you, I did start reading this and I am very much enjoying it. I just wanted to film my experience reading it because I love it so much. But that book is Graffiti by Savannah Brown. This is her first poetry collection that she self-published when she was a teenager. And I've always wanted to get my hands on this, but I just never knew where to get them from, because I think the first edition, like, it sold out and then she didn't release anymore. Like, she didn't reprint them or something. This is the second edition printing, whatever. I really like the cover, and as I said, I've already started reading it and I'm loving it so far. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to film a video, is because I wanted to showcase how much I love this book. The second book that I have, I found at a charity shop, and that is The Works of Emily Dickinson. I bought this for $2. And I know that last year I tried reading some Emily Dickinson poetry because of my Taylor Swift book recommendation video, where I read books that Taylor Swift loved. And I think I said in that video that I wasn't really gelling with her poetry. I'm gonna try again though, because my reasoning is, when I read the book last year, it was a whole collection of her poetry. So I'm hoping that this one is more selective. I'm hoping that it's like her best ones, and maybe I'll sort of enjoy it. So that's the second book that I'm gonna read this week. The third book is one that I've had on my shelf for a while. I have flicked through this a couple of times, but I haven't fully read everything in it yet, and that book is Useless Magic by Florence Welch. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but that's basically Florence and the Machine. I really like her music, and I also really like this poetry collection because it feels very like it just feels like more of an art-ish kind of book, which I really like when poetry collections do that, because I find that a lot of the collections that I see they have the same type of illustration, which I'm not really into. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. And I do have to mention, I really like the illustrations in Savannah's poetry collection too. I feel like it's, obviously this was like made years ago before Insta poetry was a thing, but I just really like the artworks in them. That's the other thing I think. I just want to find some more collection of poetry that I like, because I don't love all of the Insta poetry kind of poetry collections that are out now. Anyway, the last two books are by the same author. Now, I have read 2 other books by this author, and one of them I didn't like, the other one I really liked, and that author is Lang Leave. I read Lullabies by her ages ago and I didn't really like it, but then I read Sea of Strangers by her and I really liked that one. I remember flicking through this one and I dog-eared some of it, but I remember making up the decision that I wanted to get rid of it. I don't know why, so I'm gonna reread it again. And then the second one is September Love by her. I really love this cover, but I remember flicking through it and not really liking any of the poems. But I'm just a bit sad to get rid of this because I really like that cover. So I'm gonna try again to see if I like it. I'm feeling a little bit jittery, a little bit down, so hopefully those books will make me feel better and also get me into the reading mood again. I don't understand my fringe either. Like, do you want to be a full front fringe or do you not want to be a full front fringe? Like, just tell me what you want. You know what? So I finished reading Graffiti. As I mentioned before, I had already started reading it and I knew I was gonna really like it by the first few poems that I read. And yeah, I was not disappointed. I loved almost all of it. I mean, even the ones that I didn't dog-ear, the ones that I didn't highlight, I would have like certain parts in them that I liked that I did highlight. So yeah, all in all, I love this book. I love Savannah Brown's writing, which is why I will always pick up anything that she writes. Something that I really enjoyed about the poems in here is that she uses these very graphic imagery sometimes, like about body parts and like your insides and your organs and stuff. She literally has a poem called Organs in here, but it doesn't feel like she's trying to be edgy or like she's trying to use it as a punchline or like almost like she's glorifying it or anything like that. And I really like that because it's just so refreshing, because a lot of the poetry collections, I'm not trying to like compare or anything like that, but something that I don't enjoy in a lot of the other poetry collections that I've read, especially the ones that have come out recently, is one, they all feel like Insta poetry, which I'm not a fan of, and this is not Insta poetry. It's like longer and it doesn't feel like Insta poetry. And two, they just sort of use these graphic images, or like, I don't know, it's like the poetry, the poems that people have come out with recently have tried to sound very like raunchy or like trying to be edgy or something like that, and it just doesn't work. Whereas like Savannah's poems, she uses it in the right ways, and it doesn't feel like she's trying to be edgy. It doesn't even feel that edgy, to be honest. Like, it just, I kind of wish I read this when I was a teenager, which would be impossible because I think I'm a little bit older than Savannah. But like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoy a lot of the poems in here. And that's all I have to say. So I finally finished reading Useless Magic by Florence Welch. I started reading it last night just because, I don't know, I had some time and I was in the mood to read, and seeing as I haven't been in the mood to read these past couple of months, I wanted to take that opportunity to actually read when I'm actually in the mood for it. Yeah, I really like it. It's a lot, there is a lot of her lyrics in here, so if you don't know her songs, I still think you could get into it because she, you know, the poetry that she writes in the lyrics and also in her poetry is just very, it feels, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels very like, her poetry and her words and the way she strings them together feels very magical. Hello, I've just come home from doing something I needed to do. I don't really want to go too much into it because this is a reading vlog, and I don't know, it's nothing too serious. But yeah, I'm a little bit jittery, I'm a little bit anxious, but like, it's like that feeling when you've been a little bit stressed for the past like 2 days or so, especially the whole morning I've been very like jittery and stressed, and now that it's done I am like feeling a little bit better, but that like residue of anxiety is still there. So I made myself a second coffee, mostly just because I wanted something warm to drink. I should have just made green tea, to be honest. I don't know why. No, I need a coffee. But yeah, I am probably just gonna sit here for the rest of the day. I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna go, maybe I'll go to the gym this afternoon, just because I didn't go this morning, obviously. But yeah, for the most part, for the rest of the day, I'm going to read Emily Dickinson's poetry, and I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wrap myself up in my little blanket, I'm gonna feel calm, I'm gonna drink my coffee, I'm gonna eat some Doritos, and I might actually put my headphones on as well, just because sometimes that helps me feel like I'm being squeezed. Hello, I didn't film that much yesterday just because I wasn't in the mood to film, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a review on Emily Dickinson. I finished it last night, and I think I mentioned that this was my second try reading her poetry, and I'm just gonna, like, unfortunately I just don't enjoy it. I feel like a lot of her poetry is just, I don't know, maybe I'm just like not enough of an English literature student to like get her poetry, but I find that a lot of it is like way too vague for me to even know what she's talking about. I think I mentioned this in a video that I don't think I've posted yet, but I was talking about Taylor Swift music and analyzing her lyrics in Evermore in that video, which may or may not be posted at some point, I don't know. But I mentioned that I really like her songs that are you can tell that there is a clear story there, like the difference between Willow and Tolerate It, although they're both very beautiful you know, songs lyrically. I prefer Tolerate It a little bit more just because there is more of a storyline in the whole song, and the way the verses go and the chorus and things like that. There's like a whole story and you can understand what that story is, but it's still like metaphorically beautiful, whereas Willow is just metaphors, 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 and it's still beautiful. It's just not like, I don't gravitate towards those kind of like those types of Taylor Swift songs. I like the more storytelling side of things as a little bit more, and that's how I sort of felt with her poetry. I feel like it's just like metaphor after metaphor after metaphor, and I don't actually know what she's talking about because it's very vague and you can interpret it multiple different ways, which, you know, it's a good thing, and I know that a lot of people love her poetry, but it's just not my style. Anyway, so the fourth book that I'm gonna try, I should have read the ones that I wasn't looking forward to reading first instead of leaving them to last, but I'm gonna try and reread 11 Misadventures by Lang Leave. I don't remember hating this one as much, but I just like didn't love it as much. Hello, happy Friday. I thought I would come here and review Love and Misadventures by Lang Leave. A little bit of a confession, I didn't end up finishing this book just because I just don't want to read it. Like, I don't know, something about it I just am not enjoying. So I think this is the one that I'm going to unhaul. I thought I'd come here as well with some good book news. I have a little bit of a haul for you. I think I got 4 books. They're all around about $1 or $2 or $3 or something from charity shops, because Andrew has a day off today, so we went to go book hunting as we always do. So the first one isn't actually a specific like charity bookstore or anything like that. It was actually a coffee shop that is near his work, and he wanted to show me that place because he said that there were books there. So we got coffee there this morning and had a look around the books. The books is actually all from the Salvation Army, so it was like a donation, like you grab a book and then you can just put some coins in the jar. And I found Peter Pan, which is a really cool illustrated edition. I just wanted to get it because, as you know, I really like the story of Peter Pan, but also we thought that the illustrations look really cool. I don't know, let's see if I can find some more. There we go. See, it's really cool. So yeah, that was the first one that we bought. And I'm not going to show you the books that Andrew got because I don't know anything about them, but the next few books we got from, I think it was Salvo's. Yeah, I think it was another Salvation Army in a different spot, but this was actually like in the actual Salvation Army store. And I found 4 books, so I actually found 5 books today, which is pretty cool. So the first one is a thriller that I've been meaning to pick up, which is The Last House Guest by Miranda. Now, I don't actually know too much of what this is about, but the reason why I say I've been meaning to pick this up is because I've been meaning to pick up from this author. I've heard a lot about her from Books and Lala. I think she reads a lot of Miranda's books. I think they're hit or miss for her. But yeah, I thought I'd pick it up. It's about these two friends. One of them's dead and the other one is like the community or something. The people around her think that she killed her friend, so that's cool. The other thing I will say that I've been wanting to find is like big paperbacks like this, or like big hardcovers, because I've been struggling a lot with reading, mostly because texts in books are like too small for me now. So yeah. The next book that I found is Kazushi Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go. Now I have read this and I really like the story. I especially really love the movie adaptation, but I had a blue copy of this and I still have it at my parents' house actually, but my sister really wants that cover because it matches her Clara and the Sun cover. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna give that one to her and then I can keep this one because I like this cover as well. And then the third book that I found at that place was actually quite a surprise. Andrew actually was the one that found it, and he only found it because we were going through my Goodreads want to read list this morning and he recognized the name. But that book is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vong. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I was so surprised to find this because I feel like this would have been so rare, and I found it for $2, so it's pretty good. The last book that I found there, I don't actually know too much about, but it is this giant book here. It's called The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton. For some reason I have heard of this author's name, but I can't figure out why I've heard this author's name before. But I read the synopsis. It seems very historical fiction, and it's about these people, and I think someone gets shot or something and then someone disappears. I don't know, but I don't know, I'm in the mood for some historical fiction, I think. And I don't actually know what kind of book I'm in the mood for, to be completely honest, which is why I'm like happy to just pick up this random thing. I also am just in the mood to read something that just sort of sucks me in and then like is like a big book. So this is a pretty huge book and I want to get sucked in to this world and feel better. Okay, I've decided that I'm not enjoying this, so I'm just gonna get rid of it, which is a bummer. I know this is supposed to be like a week reading vlog, and the last two books I just ended up DNFing, but on the bright side, I stopped reading the poetry collection and I actually started reading this book, and I'm intrigued so far. But yeah, that's not for this video. Anyway, I think that's it for this week. I don't really have any more poetry that is on my TBR. Let me know if you have any poetry recommendations. I always find it a bit of a struggle to find poetry recommendations because I don't really know the type of poetry that I like very much, you know. Like I know that I don't like the Insta poetry type thing. I like my poetry to be a little bit more longer, like Nikita Gill. I really like Nikita Gill. I really like Savannah Brown. I really like, Who else do I like? I really like Rudy Francisco, Sabrina Benaim. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I like her as well. So those are the kind of the poets that I like. If you like those poets as well and you have a recommendation for me about who else to try, please let me know down below. But yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you've had a great week, and I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll see you in another video soon.